Hello, I'm Refashionista Sheri, and if you love refashions and thrifting and sustainable style inspiration, then absolutely you need to subscribe, because I put out new videos every week and a new Refashionista DIY every Friday. So if you haven't already, subscribe, throw a like, let me know the kind of refashions that you want to see. But you know what? It's September. And if you've been following me for a while, you might remember what September is. And it is my birthday month. And in just a couple of weeks, I shall be turning the big 50. And you know what? I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm not afraid of aging whatsoever. And you shouldn't be either, because you know what? The older you get, the wiser you get, or you should get anyway. And you also start realizing things that you once thought were important really aren't important, and you can so easily slough off all of the silliness of society and just be you, which is absolutely awesome. So last year, you may remember that I went all out, and for my birthday month, I put out a tutorial every single day. I did 30 days of refashions, and I'm not doing that this year because it was a crazy amount of work, but I did it, so I'm proud I did it. But I will link down below for you guys, so if you want to see a tutorial every single day this month, you can. Or if you just want to binge watch the whole playlist, by all means, go ahead. But today, I thought I would try to refashion something to maybe wear on my birthday. And you might remember a few months ago, I did a really cool vintage thrift haul. Again, I'll link that down below if you missed it. But in that haul, I got this absolutely stunning maxi dress. And like maxi dress, this is like so long it goes over my feet, which is awesome because it is also too small for me. So I can use some of that length to upsize it and hopefully create some awesome sleeves. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to be creating my hopefully 50th birthday celebration dress. So let's get making. For this awesome maxi dress upsizing project, all you need is your too tight maxi dress and, of course, your sewing gear. So before we get started, we must do some vintage tag appreciation here, because that's absolutely beautiful. And as I always say, I wish they would still make tags like this with all the pretty embroidery. And this is gold thread. And I think it says "we Maikai," and I'm very, very sorry if I butchered that pronunciation, but this was actually made in Hawaii, and I love it so much. And going from what the tag looks like, it appears to be sometime in the 70s that this was made, just going from the information that it does have and the actual style of the tag. But again, it's just beautiful, isn't it? So first I need to figure out how long I want my dress to be, and to do that you can either put it on and just mark it with a pin and, you know, eyeball it and guesstimate, or you can do what I'm going to do, and I've grabbed a dress that has my ideal length, and I'm just going to line up the shoulder seams like so. And look, this is another vintage beauty here. It's absolutely gorgeous. But then all I have to do is, you know, mark it just a little bit below the hemline here with a pin to give myself some extra seam allowance. And then I will have my ideal dress length. Okay, so now the length is great, or it will be great once it's all nicely hemmed. But we can't do that until we upsize this. And you see, it really needs to be upsized back here. Now, if I can kind of, you know me, I just eyeball things. I don't really measure. And I mean, yeah, I think about, say, 30-ish centimeters should be enough. So if we do 30 centimeters, divide by 2 and add 2 side panels around 15-ish centimeters each, that should be enough for seam allowance. And then everything should be able to be closed and fit nicely here. And then we can finally hem the bottom. Okay, so I have my chopped dress and I have my chopped bottom here, and I'm just going to line these two up at the underarm seam here of my dress just to make sure I have enough length, and I have more than enough length, so that is fantastic. Now I can go chop this to size. So now I have my chopped bottom, which of course is still in a tube skirt shape, so it's still 2 layers here. And now I'm just going to measure, and I actually don't think I need 15 centimeters, so let's do 13. Just a couple centimeters less there. And now I can chop on through here, and that will create my 2 upsizing side panels. So now I have my 2 pretty equal side panels. I need to go open up the sides of the dress so I can insert them. Okay, so looking at the interior side seams of this dress, it appears like I can very easily just use my seam ripper and open up the side seams. But I'm not sure about the top, so we'll see when we get there if it's going to just be super simple to get through this bulkier fabric or not. Okay, so I have both of my side seams open all the way from the underarm seam down to the bottom hem, and it actually was super duper easy, I think, because this is so very, very vintage. The seam ripper just went through all the stitches like a hot knife through butter. So now it's time to add my upsizing side panels, and as always, you want to make sure you have the right sides facing, and just pop them together like so. And these raw fraying edges here, I'm just really going to try to stitch as far away from them as possible. And I think I'm just going to follow the original stitch line here, because then everything should be folded over nicely once it's done. But yeah, now I'm just going to go stitch all of this together and then repeat the whole process on the other side of the dress. How gorgeous does that look? That is like perfect. That is absolute perfection. And I think it's okay if the pattern doesn't match up perfectly. I don't mind. I think that looks absolutely wonderful. And I did try it on and it absolutely fits me. Now, I am thinking I want to use the rest of this chopped bottom to see if I can create some little sleeves here. Just some little swingy bell-shaped sleeves. So let's do that. So I'm just going to create some really, really simple sleeves here. And first I'm going to measure the armhole and say that's like 26 centimeters. Now I actually have quite a bit of the chopped bottom left, so I have folded it in half, and that means I have 1, 2, 3, 4 layers here. And now I'm just gonna take my measure, and I know I usually eyeball, but this time I want to be a bit more precise than that. So lay it on here, and I said it was 26 centimeters, so you know what, let's add another centimeter for seam allowance. And now I'm just gonna chop on through and create my sleeve fabrics here. Okay, so now I have 2 pretty even pieces for my sleeves, but I still have this left as well, which is fantastic. Maybe I'll make a bag out of that. Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So for these ones now, I actually should have done it inside out, but I didn't. So there's a tip for you. Always make sure you're cutting things when the fabric is inside out with the right sides facing. Anyway, so I now have this inside out with the right sides facing, and I'm just going to stitch straight down to close up the open edges here and create my sleeves. Okay, so before we move on to the next step, Mr. Jack here, I think, is telling me he needs to go for a potty. So we're gonna go for a potty, yeah? And then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so I have my sleeves all stitched together, and I did go ahead and chop it off at an angle here just so it fits nicer into the armhole. This would be the underarm seam, and here you can see on this piece here, I did a straight stitch, then a zigzag, and then I trimmed the edge with my pinking shears. And these are just wonderful things that have been around for, I'm pretty sure, hundreds of years. And they work really, really well to trim off the edges to help prevent fraying, the same as the zigzag stitch. If you want to learn all of my tips and tricks and refashionista know-how for yourself, then remember you can get my Refashioning 101 e-course for 50% off right now using the code REFASHION50. It will be linked below for you, so go check it out, get all the info, and enroll. Alrighty, so I have my dress inside out, I have my sleeves right side out, and I'm just going to pop a sleeve into the armhole like so, and there we now have the right sides facing as always. And I'm going to line up the sleeve underarm seam with the center of what should be the underarm seam on the dress now, but now there's upsized panels in there, so there is no underarm seam. And shake it all down, and now I'm just gonna go stitch this together and then repeat the whole process on the other side, and then we're gonna see what it looks like. Are you ready for this? La la! Look at those adorable sleeves. 1 and 2, and I've given it a nice clean hem, so let's go try it on and style it up. You guys, seriously, again, another one that was totally successful and came out so much better than I thought it would. I was really worried that the sleeves weren't going to work, but once again, my refashionista brain was successful. So I'm so pleased, and I didn't have to hem up the sleeves because I used the original hem of the dress. Fantastic. And look, zipper is done up. Everything is fantastic, and I think I definitely have created my 50th birthday dress. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you can find my epic 30 days of refashions playlist linked down below, and then you can make something for yourself every single day for my birthday month. Or better yet, take advantage of my awesome Refashioning 101 deal with code REFASHION50 and get 50% off my awesome e-course. And it's that time, even though it's the start of my birthday month, it is still that time again, guys. It is troll time. And today we're gonna see once again what the heck I'm doing wrong.
Oh, hello, my little puppets. It's me, Esther, or shall I say, it is me, Barbie Esther. Sheri finally got around to creating me, and you can see there I have my curler, my glasses, my beautiful robe, and even a pair of comfortable fuzzy slippers. And look, she made lovely pockets in my robe too, just like my actual robe. I am so pleased with this. It came out so well. And do you know, she used part of a lollipop stick to create my curler. How imaginative she is. Well, you are here for the troll time, right? So I'm going to put my Barbie away for now, and let's get on with this troll. And her name is Rhonda. And Rhonda says, "Dress your age. Your outfits are juvenile." Okay, Rhonda, I must say I'm very proud of you for using such big words like juvenile. So I'm wondering, if you actually have an education, why is it that you think it's appropriate to go online and criticize someone? That doesn't make any sense to me. And I also wonder, these people that do this, do they do it in real life too? If Rhonda saw Refashionista Sheri in a supermarket wearing one of her lovely, bright, positivity outfits, would she go up to her and say, "Dress your age"? Because you know what? How old do you think people are when you're just passing them on the street? I realize Refashionista Sheri makes no secret about her age. I mean, she is turning 50 very, very soon, right? As she said it before at the video. But I don't understand this
rule of dressing. Like, what does that mean, dress your age? Does that mean that if you get a little bit of gray hair, you should start wearing gray and beige all the time? Or maybe that's the time when you really need to start dressing more flamboyantly and really releasing your own unique style, because by the time you get to be middle-aged, really, you start not caring what other people think. So these type of comments really are, they mean nothing. They mean nothing. They're actually just a wonderful vehicle to make a hilarious troll time video. So I guess thank you for that, Rhonda. And I'm also wondering, should I be dressing my age, or is this my age? Because this is a very, very vintage house dress, right? And these colors are actually very vintage as well. So I guess I am dressed appropriately for my age. But I really hope that you can maybe see that creating your own unique style is really the best way to go. And if you look in the mirror and you feel good about what you see, that's what's important. Not the opinions of strangers online or even in person, or even the opinions of people that you know in your life. Who cares? If somebody doesn't like what you're wearing, who cares? It doesn't matter. It's about your own self and how you feel good when you look in the mirror, right? Right. So I think that's all I'm going to say about that, because again, it's always the repetition, isn't it? Of, oh, you're old. Oh, don't do this. Oh, this is terrible. When really all these people are doing is showing their own selves and their own inner turmoil to the world, right? If you feel good about yourself, you don't need to go around spreading negativity. Not at all. If you feel good, regardless of your situation in life, you should be able to be positive and be kind to others, right? It's a no-brainer for me. But yeah, Rhonda, look at yourself in the mirror and maybe add some color to your own wardrobe and a little bit of color on your lips. Can you see I added some color to my own lips today for you guys? So then you can maybe step outside and feel good, and you won't have to go around doom and gloom and spreading all of this negativity, right? Well, I don't know if you can hear that, but Mr. Jack is needing to go out, so I guess I'm going to go get Refashionista Sheri so she can take him out for a little walk. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and we will catch you on the zigzag.
This is Confessions of a Refashionista.